How are we, everybody? Guys, are Jiu-Jitsu challenges still a thing? Like where you go into a school and see if their stuff still works? Is that still a thing that we do? So a video came out recently, and I'm going to tell you the whole story. There's more to it, but I wanted to show you kind of what went on. I'm going to show it to you in pieces. We're not going to take the time to go through the whole video, but I wanted to show you what happened and then give you my thoughts on it. I do want to warn you, though, this is a little bit graphic. I'll see you in a few moments. We're going to start right here with this is where the video actually begins. Just going to give you some highlights here. What we have is the instructor on top. I do want to show you something here. When he sits up, you'll see as he pulls his hand away here. You can see right here, he's got a rather sizable gash on his cheek. We'll talk about that in a moment. It continues kind of like this for a few minutes. We're not going to watch all of it, but you can see he's just maintaining top position as I fast forward through this. Back here. So definitely a part here I want you to see that happens. The guy on the bottom, this giant guy who they claim is a bodybuilder, asked him to stop several times from the bottom, saying that he was exhausted. The instructor said he doesn't care. This is the Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. You can see him tapping. He says we don't tap.
Okay.
You can hear him telling him to stop. He's trying to tap again. Everything's getting ignored. And it continues for a while here. Smack rounds. Continues the choke. And we're going to go ahead and switch to the continuation of it here. He lets go and he starts just absolutely beating the guy. Okay, that's enough. We don't need to keep watching it. Let's go ahead and switch back to me. So the question becomes, is this a thing? Like someone comes into your school and challenges you, should we still fight them? Well, that's not how this even started. Let's talk about how this actually started. And this is the owner of Shootbox, the academy that you're seeing everything put in there. They actually put out a statement saying what really happened. So what happened was that instructor that you saw, the gentleman who was assaulting the other guy, basically was in a supermarket, and apparently the bigger guy punched him in the head. Turned around, it was a case of mistaken identity is what happened. Turned out it wasn't him. He thought he was punching someone else, and rather than de-escalating, the instructor kept mouthing off. And the bigger guy says, "Oh, I'm an MMA fighter," and they both said, "Oh, I'm an MMA fighter. Let's go back to the school and really settle this." And according to the statement they put out, they actually fought for 30 minutes before what you see here on the video. So they had been standing, punching, kicking for 30 minutes prior to that. And then once the Jiu-Jitsu practitioner got hit in the face and was taking some damage, that's when he decided to put it on the ground. And apparently that's where the video starts. Now that is all only what they say. I can't validate any of it. None of that is on video. But something interesting is they said that they wanted to take it back to the academy to avoid fighting in public. For one, I call bullshit on that, because if you wanted to avoid fighting in public, you would not have filmed it and then put it on the internet. That makes it as public as it can possibly get. I think that is a dumb move if you're going to have these kind of matches, because what I saw was assault. I didn't see anything else. I saw maybe you were defending yourself, maybe you weren't, but if it was a challenge match, the guy tapped, and then that's when you got to let go. Okay, anything after that is assault. You have no reason to keep attacking. So, hopefully the guy doesn't press charges on you and it's all done now, but I think that what you did was definitely against the spirit of what martial artists should be doing. It's one thing that if someone walks into my school and decides to challenge me, I'm happy to grapple people or even put some light gloves on them and say, hey, you can try to punch and do whatever you want, and I'll take you down, and all you got to do is you got to tap, and there's a difference between proving the effectiveness of your sport or of your martial arts and just fighting and acting like a thug. And I feel like what you did there really puts a black eye on jiu-jitsu. It's not something that well-adjusted human beings do. I don't know if you're on too much TRT, too much steroids or what, but don't do that. It's not what we do in America. It is not a healthy thing to do. And then to stand up and just start beating a guy who's clearly helpless is just a line that you don't cross. It's assault. You assaulted the guy. And if you were to go to jail for it, I'm going to be the champion who says, hey, I'm glad he went to jail for it because he looks like an asshole just beating someone up. And people like that, people who are in power and just want to abuse their power, really bother me. It's something you shouldn't do. You have to be above it. Don't get me wrong. I've grappled people who make me angry and tapped them quickly just to teach them a lesson, so to speak. But once they tap, it's done. And that's how I stand on this. Now, is this something we should even be doing in 2020? And what I mean by that is, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu came onto the scene in 1993. It came into America's eyes in 1993 as a whole. It had been here for at least 8 or 10 years before that, but more just kind of in garages and stuff. But when the UFC came to town and everybody saw its effectiveness, a couple UFCs in, everybody wanted to know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Everybody understood Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu works. And even in MMA today, everybody understands that if you don't at least know some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're going to get beat by it. It is a critical skill in order to win MMA matches, or at the very least not lose them. Even the best strikers in MMA know enough jiu-jitsu to recognize that an armbar is happening or someone's taking your back or a rear naked choke. And if you don't know it at all, you're going to lose to it. So I don't think that we even need these kinds of things anymore. I don't think they're good for us. And the Gracies, who are the ones who came into the States with the Gracie challenge, you watch Choke, the old documentary, you can see it 100 times, these guys taking on all comers and all of that. But once the effectiveness was proven, they stopped doing that because they had accomplished their goal. You got to remember, that was a marketing tactic. It wasn't like a thing that we should do forever. It was an initial thing that you did because they understood through training in Brazil and how Brazil reacted, how people would react to saying grappling is good self-defense. And I was on the internet today and a guy was saying something like the police should be doing Marine Corps martial arts. And I was like, that makes no sense. The Marine Corps, the MCMAP program, for those of you who don't know, is not designed for police control tactics. It is designed that if you're a Marine on a battlefield, you can kill the other guy. Like, it has nothing to do with policing. I told him it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But and he just wanted to go on about how jiu-jitsu is useless. And it's like, okay, buddy, I'm not going to engage in this on the internet. Like, I understand the frustration with people thinking it doesn't work. But that's something that you can only do in person. You can only show that in person. But these kind of things that this guy did, this wasn't even like a challenge match, right? This was two guys fighting. One is supposedly a representation of what jiu-jitsu is about. Someone punches you in the back of the head. I get it. You want to defend yourself. And you turn around, you have every right to be pissed off. Some dude just hit you. That makes sense. And I'm not saying you should stand there, boom, and say nothing about it. But when you turn around and the guy apologizes and says, oh, I thought you were someone else, it's time to start de-escalating. Still be pissed. Be like, bro, just go away, man. That's it. Be done with it and walk away. That's what normal human beings do. And then you write about it on the internet or something. So, yeah, these kinds of things don't even need to happen anymore. If someone came into my school and actually wanted to fight, I'd tell them to get the hell out. I worked hard to get my school. I work hard to keep it a welcoming, great place to be. And we don't need people walking in the school trying to fight people. Now, we've had many people come in and want to test out jiu-jitsu against wrestling, against, some kickboxing, against it. That's fine, and it's always respectful. It's never been like a, hey, we're going to fight to the death type of thing. It's anytime it's happened, it's always been like, yeah, I just want to see what it's like, if I try to punch you or whatever. Yeah, sure, let's do that. Put on some gloves, here you go. That's fine. And it's always done respectfully, meaning like if someone's clearly getting the upper hand, we just stop, right? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you kicked him 7 times in the head. Okay, we got it. You know what I mean? Like, or got taken down, you're mounted, turn over just like everybody does, put in the rear naked choke, dude taps, and you let go. And everybody's smiling at the end because it's more of a learning experience for the people involved than it is a real fight. These two guys just wanted to fight each other. Two idiots fighting. And that's what I talk to my students about all the time when we talk about self-defense. I talk about self-defense is about not letting you or your family get hurt, protecting yourself or your family from injury. It's not about hurting other people. And if all you're going to do is, just sit here and pop, 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 this is just two idiots fighting, okay? Unless it's a paid match, in which case you could still argue it's probably two idiots fighting, but at least they're getting paid to do it. Something like that, that's different. But this thing was just way over the top. That instructor is an asshole for doing it. To stand up and just start stomping on someone's head, the kind of brain damage you can create like that. And let's be honest, that dude, he had a tough jaw, man. He took a soccer kick, 3 stomps to the head, a bunch of punches to the head. There's just no way to act. So I just wanted to come out and, talk about that a little bit, what I think of challenge matches and what I thought about that video specifically. Totally stupid, totally not representative of what jiu-jitsu is or what jiu-jitsu is about, especially in the modern area. All right, guys, you have a great one. Talk to you later. Let me know what you thought. I'm interested in that. Did you think it was okay? I was okay with it until he didn't respect the tap, really. I guess that's where I ended. It's like, as far as like how the match was going, I didn't see the first of it. I'm not happy that he took it from the supermarket to an academy. But like, once you don't respect the tap, it's done.